Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Papercraft with Kay. I'm so pleased you've joined me today, and thank you so much for all those people that have subscribed, and it's just wonderful to read all those lovely kind comments and some really helpful feedback too, and written in such a nice kind way. Thank you very much for all of those people. Today I am joining in with Margarete Miller's CW Planner Challenge for the year. We're up to week 9, and this is a 52-week challenge where you are given prompts to follow, and it's up to you how you interpret those prompts. People are so different in their ways they prompt and they use their prompts. So this is my cover, and week 1, the fantasy magical one, forest one, lavender, fancy, I love that one, maroon, oops, choosing 3 things in a room. Actually I'm really happy with all of the way they've gone. And this one was just using for headlight. And then this one was last week where I did a sort of sea thing, which means I actually missed a whole page, so I'm going to go back and do this for week 9. So as you can see, I've got my week 9 things here already ready to go. Let's see, follow the prompts. Inspired is by a fairy tale, something that represents an event, an architectural element, dictionary page, a key, and a postal stamp. Right, so as you can see, I've got a number of things here. I thought a teddy bear, which represents, the story of the 3 bears. I like to do the bonus, so I've got some postal stamps here that sort of tied in with all the colours I've got there. So just thank you, Julie, for the giveaway for those. Thank you very much. Inspired by a fairy tale is another one that I thought she looked a bit like a princess with a crown and her sort of regal kind of way she's standing. So I thought lots of princesses and fairy tales, lots of them. And architectural elements, I've got some windows from window frames, I should say, from the Windows book that Minto brought out a whole heap of books. Like there's frames, window frames, doors, tags, flowers and flora, and there are a whole lot of other books as well. There's a lot of them, so I got those. And I thought that maybe I might use this, another architectural element would be this column from Egypt. Oh, it's upside down, okay. So I hope it's not too glary. This bridge over the river, that's sort of very architectural. A dictionary page. So this is from an old dictionary that I had when I went to high school. It was called first year high school, so it would be year 8 now. So I've had that book for a very long time. And something that represents an event. So I thought, like every year we have the Adelaide Festival where I live. So the AF stands for the Adelaide Festival. So whether I use the whole or not, because it actually fits in, and so it was like an advert to put the 2 together. And the symbol was here as for the city of Adelaide too, which is part of the whole Adelaide Festival. But I thought that could represent that festival. And I did have some keys, but I think I put them away thinking, oh, I don't need that for this challenge. But yes, I do. So here they are. Just where I put them close by. So we're just going to see how we go. I'm not happy with the way that's, I don't like a lot of this white stuff around things. So we'll just quickly fussy cut around that. I love fussy cutting. I sometimes sit down and fussy cut things because I'm a card maker mainly, and just started doing journals last year and the collages last year as well, the Margarete Miller ones, that when I subscribe to a company called Uniquely Creative, and get their kit once a month, which is really great value for money, and comes up with some beautiful collections. And I usually like to sit in front of the TV and cut out the things that I want to cut out, and what they cut out, fussy cutting people call them, because we're, you know, try to be very careful about how we're cutting out and staying close to the edges, says me, who's doing a very rough, quick job here. So, and I quite like doing that in front of the TV, but I have to every now give my arm a bit of a break from doing it, because even though I use these lovely, fantastic Tim Holtz scissors, best scissors I've found for fussy cutting, because nice comfortable grip here, and the scissors themselves are quite sharp, and so you have to be very careful how you use them. They're really good for paper, but not so crash hot for material and things like that, so I use my other big scissors for that kind of cutting. Now that I'm making journals, I need scissors for all sorts of purposes. Material, paper, all sorts of things. Alright, so there's my scissors, sorry about that. So we're going to do, what are we going to start off with, Kay? Should we start off with the book, with the dictionary page? But we don't want to use it all, because I would like to have something for on this side. Remember, I like to have a little bit of a detail on this side. So just very, very carefully. And I did it the same thing as I did for week 9. I forgot to take my clip off for that I hold the Margarete Miller challenge prompts on with. Keep forgetting about that because it sort of sticks up a bit. So something that represents an event, whether I'll just use this bit here, whether I'll have it on the side there. We'll see whether we have the bigger bit. I don't know yet. We'll have to see what works out. Do I want the bridge? Maybe. I have to think about that, because I think that she needs to be the main focal image, I feel. So whether she sort of goes with a door, not a door, a window I should say, like that. Don't want to lose her totally though. I might have to put a black line around so we don't lose her. Wouldn't like to lose her. She's sort of blending a bit in the background there. I think this is the wrong, I don't think I want that one. But that's sort of not really going at the moment. Whether I'll just use the AF, I'll have to think about it. There's another, do we want to have the princess in the middle, so she's sort of highlighted by that ornate window? She's in the room in the palace, and she's just run away from the 3 bears. No, she's not Goldilocks because she hasn't got blue hair. She's got blue hair, not brown, not golden locks. You want the door to sort of not door. Keep calling them doors. They're not doors, Kate. They're windows. It's a window. That's a shuttered window. Whether I want to have another window frame here, so that we'll put the bear in the window. But then I've got 2 windows together there. I'll have to. What do I want? The column to sort of get a bit of glamour to the door. Doing it again. To the window. It's a big window. Big picture window. Yeah, that sort of goes, I think. There's another window here. I think just basically just to give it a bit of colour. Just to add some sort of colour. I think we need to have something here for the brown though. For this poor bear, sort of like a bit odd at the moment. Doesn't sort of really belong to anything else. I'll have to think about that one. Need a key. And even though we don't have to do the bonus, I like to do the bonus with the stamps. So I'll just have to have a little bit of a leave that for the moment. I just have to think about how I want it to fit. Sometimes I find things really easy to to put together, and other times it just doesn't. I have a bit of an can't quite work it out. I like those things there together, but I just think something needs to balance, unless the keys balance the bear, which would work. Trouble is with using this AF, it's the wrong colour, but I could colour over it and use a different colour. I do have some pencils here, so maybe I might do that. Because that's the Adelaide Festival, so we need to have that in there because that's one of the prompts. Alright, so what I might do is pull that away because I think it's just too much, and I might leave the pillow there. Do you want to put the bear in there, or not worry about the bear? Yeah, I think the bear needs to be there, just for fun. Just for fun. Okay. And some stamps. I'm not happy with that AF. I'm going to have to colour over it. I'm going to definitely have to colour over it. That stamp. That's the wrong blue. Elves and fairies. Well, that's very fairy tale like. Mum will definitely have to have that stamp. Maybe we can have this stamp behind the bear. Just to give him a bit of something. Alright, we'll do that. I'm going to have to cut this. It's just colouring. What colour am I going to colour it, okay? I'm going to use my pencils. Look, let's have a look. Grey maybe? No. Blue is the wrong blue, I know. But maybe you should just use this blue very lightly. Sort of like maybe that her blue. Because it's not going to go over very well with over the yellow, I don't think. So today my daughter's just got a family WhatsApp group, and so they just said today they're having their boosters today, which is for their COVID vaccine. So that means that all my family are vaccinated except for my grandsons who've had their first, because they're only 5 and 7 in Australia. They've only just been allowed to have their vaccination, so they've only had one. And my granddaughter is 4, and she's not allowed to have a vaccine just yet because she's too young. Because you have to be 5 and above, so she can't have hers yet. So she'll be the only one that's not vaccinated. And we're possibly going to be picking up my mum from her knee operation on Monday, and they've still got quite rigorous restrictions, so you still have to show proof of being totally vaccinated, which means you have to have had the booster, and we've got that on our phones, that proof. So hopefully that will be enough. But she said something about a photograph, so I'm not quite sure what she means by that. So I'll have to find out what she actually means by that by ringing the hospital, I think. That looks a bit boring. Okay, maybe I should have done a different blue. Don't like it. Don't like it. But if I use that blue, it's the wrong blue as well. I should have done it in white. I do have white, but I don't think it's going to come over now. Luckily enough, they are. Oh, I've taken my water away. Take their water colour pencils bottle. Take my water bottle away, water jar away, which is not a very sensible thing to do, but it does sort of match that colour of that there. Just going to have to think I'm going to hide it a little bit. When in doubt, hide. Like when I make my cards, people talk about how I layer things, and I think that sort of carries over a bit to my collage, because I don't mind things just sticking out here, there, you know, a little bit. I don't mind covering things over. Sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle when it's something really beautiful, like just started making cards with like flower, really pretty flower elements, and then just putting the happy birthday word across the top of the flower. And I would never have done that like a year or so ago, but I've just started doing that, and it looks just as effective. You can still see most of the flowers, so it looks really good. Because like I said, when I subscribe to these kits from Uniquely Creative, then like there's always like words and greetings and things like that you can use on your cards. Or I've actually made a few journals using Uniquely Creative products, one of which I've actually shared here on YouTube. It was called Outback Divines. It was actually based around Australian things you see, like flora and animals. Flora being the lovely flowers, and the what was I going to say? The fauna, like dingoes and magpies and things like that. I think that works actually. I might need to put that stamp somewhere else, maybe behind the other ones, like that. Alright, okay, and we need to have this key somewhere. Where are we going to put the key? Put the key here, hanging from the pedestal. It's a very big key. Alright, so what we're going to do on this side, just a little bit to, now that I've actually totally covered that in, you can't even see what colour it is, so no, I'll not do that. Just need to have something here. What I might do is cut that bit off, because it's behind what's the word I'm looking for? Behind the dictionary anyway. Sorry, I'm not talking, too busy concentrating. Oh dear. That's what happens when you concentrate. You get lost in the whole process and forget to talk. Because I've only been doing YouTube since January, and it's still a whole new. I just sometimes think, oh dear. It's when things don't go right and you're uploading your picture, and then you look at it and you think, oh, okay. You delete the whole thing and start again, and I've only done that a couple of times, thank goodness. I'm usually pretty happy with my first try. Take my prompts out from the other challenges. Pretty happy with my usual first efforts, and just change them a little bit in terms of, like, for some unknown reason, my camera, my phone, I'm not too sure, because like it's supposed to do the filming like automatically. When it's on the side, you're supposed to do it automatically, changing the orientation, but even though I've got it on automatic, it still doesn't film landscape, so I have to change it around to landscape, because it's always in portrait, which means that you're looking at it side on, and you can't have that. People would have a sore neck from looking side on, and they wouldn't want to come watch you anymore. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. You have to have a window like that. You'd have to have the right kind of house. So you'd have to probably have like a palace like you have in the fairy tales, I think, though. Unless you've got a big house. I think it would be, the pattern would get lost in a house like mine. Mine's a very modern house. There's the princess. Looking very reflective. There we go. I've forgotten that this stamp had elves and fairies on it. I think that's probably why I chose it, because it was reflective of the fairy tale kind of prompts. I don't want to have all of it showing, just want some of it showing. And the AF, Adelaide Festival. So my eldest daughter and her husband are going to part of that, something called Woam Adelaide. In previous years we've had lots of international artists that you wouldn't normally see. You know, they come from all parts of the world to do this Woam Adelaide, and it's in a beautiful park. My husband and I used to go, and then just seemed to get hot in March, and I'm not very good in the heat, and I just wilt really badly, and I don't do the heat very well anymore. And I just said to him, I just can't do it anymore. It's just too hot for me. And since I've had my illness, I don't think I'll be able to last this distance anyway. Anyway, they're going to the Woam Adelaide for one night, so they've asked us if we could have their daughter. And then as part of the festival, my other daughter and her husband are going to Victor Harbour, which is where we went, when my husband and I went the other day. I think I talked about it in the previous video. It's about 2 hours drive away. They're going down there with his brother and his parent and my son-in-law's parents to spend some time in Victor Harbour and go to a concert down there. Because sometimes, even though it's called the Adelaide Festival, and it sort of does have some parts of it do go to country towns like Victor Harbour or Riverland or places like that, just so that people in the country don't miss out, because you can't always get to the city, and sometimes if you want to come to the city, then you've got to pay extra for accommodation and all that sort of stuff, and people can't always necessarily afford to do that. So it's good that they go out to the country towns and do that as well out there. In South Australia, if you want to go anywhere, you just have to drive anywhere, because it's just such a long, like such a long way to some place. Some places are really close, and other places are just a long way away. My husband and I were sent to a country town when we were teaching, to a place that was 600 kilometres away, and that was fine when we didn't have any children, but it still would take us 6 hours to get here. But when we had our eldest daughter, you have to keep stopping for babies. It took a whole lot longer. So it's just found it really, really hard to do that. And then we'd stay with my mum and dad because they had the room, and because my in-law still had 2 boys at home at that stage. Even though they were growing up, they still lived at home because they hadn't moved out at that stage. They weren't that old really, and so we had to make sure we had equal amount of time between both sets of grandparents, because we'd only stay for a while. Because by the time we'd done that, visiting back and forth, we'd want to go back home to this town. It's on the Eyre Peninsula, a place called Woodner, and we were there for 3 years, and the people there were so lovely, really welcoming, and took us to different things. It's just really nice. Now I've got another stamp here. Do I want the other stamp here? Just to sort of finish it off. It's a picture with hibiscus, but it's just really the wrong blue. don't know if I want the wrong blue. What else can I put there? Nothing really. Just leave it as it is, Kay. Right, we need to have some definition for this person here, this princess. Did I say anyway? So did I tell you? Sorry, did I finish that story? I don't think I did. Anyway, they're going to Victor Harbour to see a concert. I don't know if anybody has actually heard of Jimmy Barnes. I mean, he's well known here, but I don't know how well known he is in other places. Let's see. Prominent singer. I just might do the A and the F for Adelaide Festival. Adelaide Festival is actually made of two parts, the Adelaide Festival itself and the Adelaide Fringe. Fringe has so many different smaller acts, whereas the festival has bigger acts. Okay, I think that's, I don't want to do too much. I don't know whether I want to have a bit more dictionary page over here because it just looks a bit bare. No, let's do a number. 9. Did I say 9? I think I did say 9. And I've lost my text now. Oh, there it is. 9. Week 9. Margarete Miller, week 9. I think I'm gonna. I haven't got my phone's recording, so I don't know what the date is. I know it's March something. No, not March. It's February something. Nearly March. 9. Week 9. I think maybe I do need to have a date on these things because I'm looking at them thinking, when did I actually do that? When was I did that? Yes. Anyway, so I've got inspired by a fairy tale is the princess and the bear. Princess being lots of princesses in fairy tales. And the bear reminds me of the 3 bears. I think that's the only story I know with bears. The something that represents an event, the AF for Adelaide Festival. I might write that down actually somewhere. An architectural element, well, I've got lots of window frames. This beautiful one here, I do love that. The shutters here and a bit of shutter there. Dictionary and the Egyptian column. Then I've got a dictionary page. Probably should have found something that didn't start with a P, but maybe something with a fairy tale-ish. Anyway, a key. There's a key there, and a postal stamp there, and I don't think this one should go over here because it just doesn't want to belong. Anyway, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. I would really appreciate that. And I really hope you join me next time. Bye bye. See you later.